candidates are being asked about their own connections to or impressions of an array of celebrities, and with no explanation why, at least not yet. The parlor games have begun, my friends. Everybody is trying to connect the dots between the shiny, famous names and the beleaguered rap star Diddy and the charges.
Affleck actually recently walked away from J-Lo because these allegations were coming out.
And isn't there even some concern that, or proof that Pastor T.D. Jakes?
Well, I'm getting right there. So there's this big list that Diddy said, I'm not going down alone. Because Cat Williams went on a podcast a while back, and Cat Williams, who's a well-known comedian in the black community for a long time, he went on a podcast and basically just regurgitated all this information that was just so valid. And he said, all these people, he said, you got God on one side, and then you got the other side. And he said, the other side, they're all going down in 2024. And he mentioned that he was offered $50 million 4 separate times to join in with these Diddy parties to basically be sodomized. And he turned it down every time.
To help his career.
To bring his career to the next level.
You're on a raft.
Yes.
In the middle of the ocean.
Right.
You look in the water.
That would give me so much anxiety to him.
Oh, this is about to give you more anxiety. You look in the ocean, you see 2 people float.
Gosh.
You can only pull up one because that's how much room you have on your raft. You look in the oceans, you see Ben Affleck. And you see Diddy. That's it. J to the L.
You'll be shocked to learn the actual list of celebs Diddy was linked to. He had connections with CEOs, music executives, and even members of the British royal family. These powerful people were also friends with others who knew Epstein. After seeing the same names show up over and over when scandals are exposed, it really makes you wonder if it's just a coincidence.
Famous people who partied and hung out with Diddy. Apparently there's like at least, 100 plus who are going to be named in his trial. Famous shiny stars. We named some of them last night. We got a new one tonight, Iron Man. But we don't yet know what the connection is. Like, how are all these famous faces and names going to be connected to P. Diddy in his sex trafficking trial? It's the kind of thing they're all freaking out about, right? And there are many unnamed yet. We're just finding out about them in jury selection. But I'll tell you what, the internet is freaking out and making its connections. Which shiny star had what connection to Diddy, and how could that end up in the case?
Yeah, there you go. Y'all. Thank you. And I just want to say how much I appreciate Puff Daddy for doing the kinds of work that he's doing, because he doesn't have to do this. But this is part of what is important about giving back.
Yes, we applaud you, and I want to apologize for not sweating, but I do this so much. I'm so cool. I just want y'all to see everybody I'm interviewing is sweating. I'm not even touching my brow. I'm so cool, and I want to apologize. I ain't trying to make you look bad or nothing like that, but I'm just so cool. We t-shirt.
I tell you, if he was wearing one of those fancy designer clothes, he's designer.
Dr. Michael B. Jordan made the list because Diddy once threatened him for dating Diddy's ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. Same goes for the rapper Kid Cudi. USA Today says that Cassie's lawsuit claimed that Diddy threatened to blow up Kid Cudi's car.
T.D. Jake is one of the celebrities who publicly criticized Diddy and tried to stay out of the spotlight. Just days after news broke that Diddy accepted a plea deal to turn on his co-workers, Dallas Bishop T.D. Jake stepped down as the head pastor of the Potter's House megachurch. Now, T.D. Jakes is trying to explain why he went to Diddy's parties so often, but no one is believing it anymore.
People get on my nerve talking about who you should be seen with. I do homeless shelters. I walk in prison ministries. I deal with murders. I deal with rapists and kills because they're our children, our sons, and our...
The shock to many in the religious community, Bishop T.D. Jakes has been a spiritual advisor to presidents and a religious voice to thousands. Now he says it's time to pass the baton to a new generation. From the pulpit Sunday, Bishop T.D. Jakes announced that he was stepping down from leadership at the Potter's House.
You could clearly this point. I want to.
Almost a year ago, Cat Williams called out TD Jake's hypocrisy and said he would go down with Diddy. His claims are now slowly being proven true in Lil Rod's case. Lil Rod accused Diddy of using TD. TD Jake was first named as an accomplice in Diddy's case. Jake's use of religion to boost his reputation is being questioned. TD Jake allegedly helped Diddy reach new victims and used his role as head of the Potter's House to clean up Diddy's image.
Watch as Cat Williams calls out Bishop TD Jakes, and watch as TD Jakes and Gino Jennings' response.
I came in this business saying I was going to expose. When I talked about Michael Jackson, when I talked about R. Kelly, they canceled me for these things because why would you talk about another black dude? Race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TD Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
Good, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm good because I know the truth.
TD Jakes, do not speak against homosexuality.
World-renowned Dallas pastor TD Jakes is named in a federal lawsuit against musician Sean Diddy Combs.
It's filed by a producer that worked with Combs. It discusses how the singer planned to leverage his relationship with the bishop to soften the impact on his public image of Casey Ventura's lawsuit. Ventura is a former girlfriend of Combs who filed her own lawsuit in November alleging abuse, violence, and stage trap.
Could this federal investigation have come out of these private lawsuits?
Oh, absolutely. If it involves sex trafficking or drugs or weapons or other illegal behavior.
Lori Levinson is a former federal prosecutor.
They've decided this is worth a lot of resources across the country. So once they've done these searches, they have evidence to follow up on. And if they've got it, they'll...
Diddy's protege Usher is also being investigated. Cassie testified last week that Usher saw Diddy many times and helped him cover things up. Don Richard, a former member of Donity Kane, also testified that Usher witnessed what happened during Diddy's 2010 tour in West Hollywood. She said Diddy hit Cassie in the stomach during a private conversation. Cassie leaned over in pain and walked away without saying a word.
Richard says she wasn't alone in witnessing Sean Diddy Combs' abuse. During her second day of testimony in the music mogul's federal trial, the 41-year-old described an alleged 2010 incident of Combs punching then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura at a West Hollywood, California restaurant, and said Usher was also a witness to the event. During her testimony May 19th per NBC News, which had a reporter in the courtroom, she said, quote, Mr. Combs punched Cassie in the stomach. They were having a private conversation and then he punched her in the stomach. She immediately leaned over and left. In addition to Usher, Richard, who was a member of the girl group Donity Kane, which was formed on Combs' show Making the Band in 2004, alleged that other musicians, including singer Neo, record exec Jimmy Iovine, and rapper Big Daddy Kane were present as well. When Richard and Ventura got into a car to leave after the alleged restaurant incident, Richard said another physical altercation took place between Combs, who has pleaded not guilty to all charges, and his then-girlfriend. She continues in her testimony, quote, we got in the car to head back to her house. Combs grabbed her, slapped her, popped her in the mouth, and told her to shut the Everyone was
Justin Bieber is another big star who had a similar experience as Usher, but he didn't stay silent. When Justin was 13, Diddy took him under his wing and is now accused of abusing him during that time. There is video proof showing some of Hollywood's biggest names mistreating Justin. A few days after the trial began, Justin released a statement saying he knew about real abuse happening behind the scenes.
Justin Bieber breaking his silence on the ordeal after months of speculation over their one-time relationship. His rep telling ET, although Justin is not among Sean Combs' victims, there are individuals who were genuinely harmed by him. Shifting focus away from this reality detracts from the justice these victims rightfully deserve. Bieber's questionable connection to Diddy piquing interest online as the rap mogul's indictment for sex trafficking and racketeering charges, which he denies, made headlines. Old clips of the two hanging out while Justin was underage resurfacing.
Let's just go get some girls. Let's go hang with some girls.
Man, that from my heart. That's true.
We hit him like this, so we and you walking, we hanging out, you know, a little later on the night after the Usher concert.
There's also this old Jimmy Kimmel Live segment, adding to fan fears about what might have gone down with Diddy.
Got me a Lamborghini.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last time.
The Lamborghini for a day or two, and he got access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Oh, apparently not. Some things, everything ain't for everybody.
This all comes as Bieber's followers are worried for him, the singer's erratic social media posts causing concern week after week, the Beliebers asking if what he's seen behind the scenes of the industry.
An old segment from Jimmy Kimmel Live is also making fans more afraid of what might have happened with Diddy. Interview 7. Fans are now really worried about Bieber. His strange posts on social media every week are making people concerned. Beliebers are wondering what he has seen behind the scenes in the industry.
Why Michael B. Jordan, Kanye West, and more celebrities were name-dropped at Sean Diddy Combs' trial. As jury selection in the mogul trafficking trial got underway May 5th in New York, NBC News reports prospective jurors were shown a list of more than 100 names of people and places that may be referenced during the trial, including actors Michael B. Jordan, Mike Myers, and rapper Kanye West. While the aforementioned celebrities are not implicated in the case, the potential jurors were asked whether they knew any of the names listed and whether it would impact their ability to be impartial, per the outlet. Attorneys did not share an explanation for the list. The names of women who have taken legal action against Combs were also on the list, including his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura, whose November 2023 sexual abuse lawsuit against the rapper was settled one day after it was filed. Danny DeCane alum Don Richard, who accused Combs of sexual assault in a lawsuit filed in September, was also listed. Combs has denied any wrongdoing in both cases.
There are rumors that Diddy has lost the protection he had for a long time, and that's why he's finally being exposed. Some people believe that when Diddy went against his powerful bosses, they turned on him. It's hard to ignore that Diddy's world collapsed just 2 months after he ended his deal with Diageo. Was there a connection between Diageo and Diddy's exposure?
Diddy sues Diageo. Diddy filed a lawsuit accusing Diageo of neglecting the De Leon brand, racial discrimination, claiming they marketed it as an urban product and failed to treat him as a true business partner. Then in January 2024, they settled out of court. Diageo and Diego settled the dispute out of court. While details still remain sealed, the settlement marked the end of their business relationship. So this is from 2007 till 2024, 17 years. Could they have protected him? I don't know. Their CEO currently today is Deborah Ann Crew. She was a former intelligence officer in the military. Once intelligence officer, forever you're an intelligence officer. Who knows what happened? We don't know the relationship. We're not going to make any accusations. All we know is, could this have been a protection where they were at the parties and they knew things that were taking place and are like, wait, what do you want to do to us? No problem. Boom, drop the bomb. I don't know. All I'm saying is the timing is kind of strange. Maybe even they wanted to kind of be like, look, we know what's about to be dropped on this guy. We want to have nothing to do with you. We're out. Here's some money. You stay quiet. We'll pay you, but we want to get out of here. The only thing that the timing is kind of crazy is January 2024, they settle. 2 months later, remember what we're sitting there doing and minding our own business? And you hear, March of 2024, the feds are raiding Diddy's Miami home and his LA home for
what happens behind closed doors will decide the outcome of this trial. Diddy's close friends turning on him exactly when it benefits them doesn't seem like a coincidence. It's possible that the same powerful people who helped him rise are now the ones taking him down.
Well, Pierce, let me ask you a question. From your journalistic perspective, have you ever noticed how in this industry, people untimely meet their demise as soon as somebody else seems like they're having a problem? Have you ever seen that before?
Well, there was, of course, the case of one of his other ex-girlfriends, Kim Porter, who died of pneumonia at a very young age. You just referenced your own situation with pneumonia that you believe was deliberate poisoning. Do you believe that may be what happened to her?
Why are so many people coming down with pneumonia? Why is that happening to everybody? What is that about? where have you ever seen this many cases of pneumonia associated with one situation? So, you know.
There were rumors well, I was going to mention on this that there have been rumors circulating online that Diddy may have poisoned Jamie Foxx, which caused his 2023 hospitalization. In his Netflix show, he compared Combs to the devil in revealing his near-death experience after a brain bleed and stroke. He said, I say this all the time, I saw the tunnel, I didn't see the light. It was hot in that tunnel. I thought, have I gone to the wrong place? I looked at the end of the tunnel and I thought I saw the devil saying, come on. Or was that Puffy? I'm effing around, but if that was Puffy at a flaming bottle of Johnson.
Jamie Foxx's claim that Diddy poisoned him shows just how dark the industry really is. Joe Rogan also talked about Diddy's accusations in a recent episode of The Joe Rogan Experience.
P. Diddy, why can't we get anything concrete? All we really have is the hotel hallway beat ass.
That one is in the process. At least, I don't know, but hold on. He's in jail. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of lawsuits. That one is like, we're going to find out. Jamie Foxx just recently said that P. Diddy poisoned him, and that's it.
I've heard that.
He talked about it on stage.
He said it?
He said it.
Got poisoned?
He said it.
He goes, I didn't have a heart attack because of the vaccine. It was Diddy shutting me up.
See if we can find that, because he said it on stage.
Whoa. Poisoning people?
Bro, whoa. I think there was some crazy bit going on.
Like Cosby shit? Like drugging?
Diddy wasn't even, I think it was murder. Do it.
There's alleged murder. There's a bunch of people that got pneumonia, a bunch of convenient people that died of pneumonia. Jamie Foxx addresses whether Diddy was responsible for his 2023 hospitalization while filming Netflix special. Holy shit.
Jamie Foxx has a Netflix special? Should they not care about at all stand-up?
Jamie Foxx is hilarious. Audience members.
Yeah, right. Oh, I see him at clubs all the time. Working out his bit.
What is that share slide? Look at this. The audience members had varying accounts of the comedian's words. Two of them claimed that Fox said Diddy was responsible for what happened to him, that he's the one who called the FBI on Diddy, who's currently in prison awaiting trial on semi-referee charges.
Diddy has rejected the federal government's plea deal. As part of the deal, he would have admitted to charges including narcotics, forced prostitution, ST, and racketeering. The deal would have lowered his sentence, but now it looks like that won't happen. If Diddy goes down, he's taking everyone with him. Their names appear on the tapes taken from Diddy's Miami estate. Jay-Z, TD Jakes, Usher, and even Clive Davis will all go to jail.
Last hearing before Sean Combs' trial starts, when he walked into federal court today, he appeared to be looking for his family. They've pretty much been at all of the hearings that I've been to, but there was no presence of his sons or his mother or his sister who had previously been at those hearings. So here's what came out of today's hearing. Number one, the government acknowledged that they offered Combs a plea deal. Combs acknowledged he has no interest in taking that. They're going to move forward with the trial. They also talked about the jury selection process, which one legal expert I spoke to said is probably the most important thing that you want to pay close attention to before the actual trial starts. And thirdly, we learned that Combs will be adding 2 new attorneys to his defense team. And just to recap, Combs, who is 55 years old, could spend the rest of his life behind bars if convicted on sex trafficking and racketeering. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges.
Developments tonight involving the case against Sean Diddy Combs, what he decided in court today, and what this now means, the move coming just 4 days before his trial is set to begin. Here's Aaron Katursky.
Tonight, Sean Combs makes it official. He's rejecting the government's offer to plead guilty and spare himself the possibility of a prolonged term in prison. When asked if he turned down the offer, Combs answered, "Yes, I do, Your Honor," as he stood in a baggy beige jail uniform. Terms were not disclosed, but prosecutors did say a plea could result in a shorter sentence for Combs than if he's convicted. The decision guarantees Combs will face trial beginning just 4 days from now that will test whether one of music's most prolific figures used his power, wealth, and fame to sexually exploit both women and men for decades. Combs has pleaded not guilty to racketeering conspiracy, trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution charges that accused him of coercing alleged victims into prolonged drug-fueled activity that he called freak-offs and threatening them in the...
Don Richards also gave testimony against Diddy, saying he beat Cassie badly and essayed her in front of her. Richards shared details of multiple incidents showing Diddy's violence. She said she saw Diddy punch Cassie in the face with his fist at a concert in Central Park.
Richard joined Combs' group Diddy Dirty Money after Danity Kane disbanded. While on the stand, she told jurors that she saw Combs hit Ventura with a skillet full of eggs at his Los Angeles home in 2009. Richard testified per NBC News. He came downstairs asking where his phone was, and he threw her to the ground. He attempted to kick her. She fell to the ground and went into the fetal position, literally trying to hide her head. In addition to striking Ventura with the skillet, Richard said Combs put his arm around the singer's neck and took her upstairs before she heard glass breaking. Richard added, "I was scared for her. I was scared to do anything." Richard's testimony in Combs' ongoing trial comes 8 months after she accused the rapper in a lawsuit of subjecting her to years of inhumane working conditions, which included groping, assault, and false imprisonment. The lawsuit, filed in September, obtained by E! News, stated, Mr. Combs frequently held meetings with Ms. Richard wearing only his underwear, despite Ms. Richard's protests and repeated requests for him to put on clothing. In her filing, the 41-year-old also alleged that Combs ordered her to strip down to her underwear, made demeaning remarks about her body, and entered her dressing room unannounced while she was unclothed, and touched her without her permission under the guise of showing the stylist what.
Gone Deal also confirmed these claims. Diddy groomed Cassie. He was nearly 40 and she was only 19 when he started seeing her. Over time, Diddy took control of every part of Cassie's life. Her family, her job, her food, and even her clothes. If she didn't follow his rules, Diddy would hurt her and take away her home and career.
If you don't think that dude groomed that young girl, took that impressionable young girl who wanted to be a star, who wanted all her dreams that she had to come true, and fed her drugs, fed her pills, fed her alcohol, and fed her mushrooms and things that she never took before to F her mind up, and then put her in a position that she thought that what little that she had, that she didn't want to lose it. If you didn't think that he did something and did that to her, bruh, I gotta say something wrong.
Whenever someone tried to help Cassie, Diddy stepped in. One of the victims, a woman named Gina, is still missing. Gina was supposed to testify about the abuse, but has disappeared.
Whenever these trials come about, the closer you get to the trial date, a lot of things start happening to remove people from the case that are going to strengthen the case for the prosecution. And I feel like we're watching that take place now with one of the male sex worker guys who provided tapes to the feds. He's disappeared. And this is similar to what happened in the Tory Lanez case, where the bodyguard whose DNA was on the weapon, he disappeared. So I expect to see a lot of strange things take place. I expect to see the defense team do a lot of steps to lighten the image of Combs, and we've been watching that take place.
From what you know about him, Sean Combs, obviously the perception of him has changed dramatically since these allegations were made and since he got charged. I mean, from everything we're seeing now, he seems a very unpleasant, nasty, violent piece of work. Is that a correct assessment?
The assessment is going to be correct. So what I've learned is whenever you see a gentleman like this from affluence and power, whenever they have an addiction to MDMA or the drug LSD, they call it the love drug. So he's been doing this drug for over 20 years. So that's going to leave his view skewed when it comes to sexual activity. I believe it's helped turn him into a sexual deviant.
These claims are deeply disturbing and show the ugly truth about what happens in Hollywood behind closed doors. Behind all the fame and money is a dark world where people are used, abused, and left behind when they're no longer useful.
Now, here's Fox. Go ahead, Rob.
What jurors heard today were tales of appalling physical abuse by Sean Combs as prosecutors portrayed him as a monster who controlled people and plied them with drugs, threats, money, brandishing guns during these on-camera performances that he liked to call freak-offs. And in fact, jurors were shown for the first time today that horrifying videotape Combs brutally beating, kicking, and dragging his then girlfriend. And then a male escort took the witness stand, and he talked about how he saw firsthand that same young woman repeatedly battered by the defendant, who then tried to bribe a hotel security guard with a stack of cash to get rid of the evidence. In opening statements, what struck me was how the defense attorney openly admitted that her client committed domestic violence, but then tried to argue, well, that's about trafficking for which he's charged. Technically, yes, but it is an underlying crime in the racketeering case against him, which includes kidnapping, arson, crimes, bribery, obstruction, all part of this alleged criminal enterprise run by Sean Combs. His attorney also admitted to the jury that her client's conduct is, quote unquote, indefensible, and that he may be a deviant, but that doesn't make him a criminal, which strikes me as not a terribly great defense. Are going to be arguing, and they said this to the jury, that the alleged female victims, and there are a lot of them, are all motivated to lie out of greed because they file lawsuits against Combs for money damages. Well, that is a typical defense tactic, but it is dangerous, it is perilous. Jurors might perceive it as the lawyers re-victimizing the victims.
The Diddy trial is showing a side of Hollywood that many people never wanted to see. As more names come out, billion-dollar CEOs, music legends, and mega-church pastors, people are running scared. Tell us in the comments section. Do you think this is just another celebrity being used as a scapegoat, or is it the beginning of a major Hollywood purge? If you watched all the way through, ring the bell to make sure you don't miss what's next. Subscribe for more exclusive updates and like this video.